What's up, everyone? So it's been about a week and a half since I've been back from my first solo backpacking trip, and even though I pretty much talk about all these in the 4-part hike in the videos that I posted, I wanted to touch on a few updates, thoughts, a few lessons that I feel like I learned while I was out there. So I'm going to go over First, I'm going to go over my thoughts about solo hiking. I'm going to go over a few gear updates, and then I'm going to go over some food updates. So those are the 3 big topics, and I'll break down, the gear is actually broken down into several different ones, but let's get into that. So the first thing that I learned is that I don't really prefer solo backpacking. I didn't hate it. It was actually a really great trip. Feel like I'm really proud of myself for making it through that. When I first started backpacking and we tried to do the Foothills Trail, I bailed. Like the first 3 times we tried to do that hike, just for various reasons. I either left early or somebody was hurt and we had to leave early, so that's a little different. But the somebody was me. And then the 3rd time we left because no one wanted to be out there because it was too cold. So even though all 3 of those weren't like specifically me bailing out, I basically bailed out. And one thing I wanted to prove to myself on this hike was that I was going to finish it no matter what. So the biggest thing is that it was supposed to be 5 days, and I pushed it a little to be done in 4, but I did not quit the trail early. I finished the entire section that I planned to do, and I made it back to my car on foot without getting a ride. Now for that, I am incredibly proud of myself. But will I do another solo hike? I'm thinking probably not. But one of you did leave a really good comment on one of the videos. Actually, a lot of people left a lot of great feedback, so thank y'all for that. But one person did make the point, sometimes if it's what you're really passionate about and other people just can't go, you're going to end up, if you really want to go, you're going to just have to go. And my mom is also really passionate about backpacking, so I very much consider her to be my main backpacking partner. But yeah, if it came down to it later on in the future and I wanted to go out again, it would not be a long one, but I would still prefer not to go by myself. So anyway, that's the first thing and the biggest thing that I got from the trip, is that even though I'm very proud of myself for doing it, I'm not really a solo backpacker for overnight trips. It's probably not going to be my thing, and that's fine. Okay, gear updates. There were a few things that I realized either that I wanted to give y'all feedback on, like an update, or that I realized this isn't going to work, I want to do this, or this might not work, I want to try this. So the first one that a lot of people left comments on was when I talked about the rain jacket and pants versus the poncho. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So that's kind of really that update, is I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I really want to go back to the poncho really badly, and if we do our next shakedown hike on the Foothills Trail, hopefully at the beginning of next year, I will probably take my poncho. But I did also get another comment from someone about the CDT specifically and using a poncho, and the high winds when you get up in the elevation, that the poncho may not actually be a good choice. So even though I want to go back to my poncho, I may not. Especially for the through hike next year, it may not be a wise decision. So I will probably end up still using the jacket and pants. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I invested in that gear. I certainly don't want it just sitting in a drawer not being used because it was expensive. On the same topic of rain gear, I have decided, oh boy. I've decided I'm done with this thing. I feel like Z-Pack's gear for me is kind of hit or miss. Completely and totally not talking bad about the company. There's certain things, and this is everyone, they have their own preferences, but certain things just I don't like. I don't like this thing. I don't care if it weighed 0 ounces. I don't like this pack cover. So I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. So I'm not going to be using that again. I'm going back to the basic. I don't feel like getting out. But like the super basic pack cover that I think you can find on Amazon, the like gigantic one, man, I'm going back to that thing. I've decided that. That's just what I'm doing. That's not really a big difference or anything crazy, but I did make that decision for sure. Another thing in the gear area is the fanny pack. So once I added the fanny pack in, I realized I really love having a fanny pack with me when I'm backpacking, and that's not going to change. But the very first day out there, I ended up actually putting the fanny pack in my pack. Now, number one, I'm glad I had enough room to do that. But number two, it's just kind of silly because, okay, that fanny pack was like 10 ounces by itself. I'm sure that floating lid, I don't know how much it weighs exactly, but even if it did weigh 10 ounces, why not just put all the contents of the fanny pack in that, and then I don't have this huge thing around my waist adding to like overheating. So I decided, get this. This was my newest fanny pack that I bought, and man, I love this thing. I really do. But maybe it'll just be more of a normal life or like a day hike thing because, I mean, look how big it is. This thing had me overheating seriously. Now, when the last day, I guess the third and fourth days, that wasn't as big of a deal because it was really cold out, but man, this was just more of a nuisance. It was just too big. So I decided that what I'm going to do is go back to my very small 1.5 liter one just to have some stuff really easily accessible right here. But this thing doesn't add any this doesn't add to any overheating. It kind of really just hangs over the hip belt. So I'll have a few items in here, and what I did was I put the floating lid back on top of my pack, and I'm just going to put some stuff in there instead. I'm already not worried about being ultralight, so may as well make use of the floating lid, and yeah. That's what I did. Oh, another one that I wanted to, this one is purely an update. But when I posted the short video about how to prevent hip belt bruising, I told y'all that I had found these gel cushions on Amazon. Now what I did was I ended up putting them in little tiny Ziploc bags because using them without being like solidly wrapped up in something, they were just sliding around too much. I don't know. I can't really explain it. It was annoying, so I put them in Ziploc bags. Now, the risk of having them in Ziploc bags is that I did have them fall a couple times, and I think literally only twice. Is I'd be hiking along, and then all of a sudden this thing would fall down into my britches, and caught me off guard for a second. Anyway, I'm rambling. The update on the gel cushion is that I do like it, and I will be using them. Now, does it completely prevent hip belt bruising and irritation in your hip area? No. No, it doesn't. It is a lot better. I didn't notice any irritation in my hip area until probably the end of day 3 and day 4. And when I got home that night and I looked in the mirror, I did see that I had welts on both hips. I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to prevent that. If anyone else has something else they've tried, I think I'm going to have to go back through the comments of the video that I posted with these to see if y'all had any good suggestions. I've tried a foam pad. I've now tried these gel cushions. So far, the gel cushion is the best option. Izzy, man, she loves destroying these chairs. So this is what I'll be using. I still think it's the best option, best thing that I've tried to prevent irritation in this area. But I'll be completely honest with y'all. Did it prevent everything 100%? It did not. It really didn't. In fact, I'd say if you have someone that you could both like buy one big piece and split it between the two of you, I mean, they're not expensive. I do think they're worth it, but I'm not going to tell you that it was like the perfect solution. Oh my gosh, my hips were great, because that's not the truth. But it did go longer without having irritation start up. Usually I can feel the welts and everything on the first day. And at least this provided a couple more days. So, oh well, it is what it is, because this is my pack. This is 100% my pack. This is completely going to be my through hike pack. I've decided I don't care what the hip belt's doing to me. It fits the best on me. It holds everything the best. So I guess technically that's my last gear update, is that even though I already knew I was more than likely going to use this pack, I'm now decided I don't want to use any others. In fact, after I got back from my solo hike, was that last weekend? Yeah, I think last Sunday, because I got back Wednesday night. Last Sunday, I did a short pack walk with my Asia. And I'm going to tell y'all, as much as I do love that pack, after using this one for 4 days and then going to that one, I was like, no, absolutely not happening. It's not happening. I'm not doing any other backpacking trips without this one. The only exception to that would be my Durston, which I don't know if you can see in the video. I've got it up on top. I'm not getting rid of that Durston pack because I love that pack. It just cannot be a 6-month pack where I'm going through the desert. I can't do that. So anyway, those are all my gear updates. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on to the food, because even though I saved this one for last in the video, the truth is the food was actually kind of a big difference for me, a big learning experience. So let me back up just a tad to say that when I made that recent video about how I make a healthy meal plan for backpacking trips, I didn't follow any of that on this hike. I didn't. It is the truth. That is normally how I would plan my hikes. Plan my nutrition for my hikes. It would be very carb-centric, add in the other nutrients, but the carbs were the main focus. And that week leading up to me going on the hike, I was actually adding a lot more meat back in. Not fully carnivore, but I just was getting that itch to try that again. So I didn't go fully carnivore for this hike. I didn't want to do that again. I would never go on another backpacking trip without carbs, because that last experience was terrible on the Bartram Trail, and I didn't want to get out there by myself and it be a truly bad situation. No, no, no. So, but I will say that I ended up doing the best mileage, the best hiking, the best recovery after this hike, and I had mostly cheese products. They were all real cheese, but like I either had blocks of cheese or like little dried cheese snacks like moon cheese or wisps or parm crisps. I had a lot of that. I had some dried meat and some honey packets and a few Cliff Bars. Those 4 things are pretty much what fueled this hike, and I honestly feel like I had the best recovery. When we did the Bartram Trail, I had like a full week of recovery after that. And it's not just because I think the nutrition, I'm not really sure what happened on that hike, if I'm being completely honest, but I had a solid 10 pounds of swelling and inflammation in my body after I got done with that hike. It was really bad, actually. It was really bad. And I know it was 10 pounds because I stepped on the scale, and within a week I had gone back down 10 pounds, literally just from swelling and inflammation. And my feet and lower legs holding on to water. It was actually a very weird experience that I don't ever want to go through again. So that was what happened after that one. So fast forward, we did the Art Lobe, I don't know, a couple months ago, and we did 30 miles in 2 days. We pushed it kind of hard, but even so, I was like, it's only 2 days, I should be all right. Nope, get home, my feet start swelling up. It wasn't a week-long recovery, but I had to recover for a solid, I'd say 3 or 4 days, because my feet were wanting to swell up again. So this time I decided, you know what, I am going to just stick with what I'm doing right now and take some meat, take some cheese. I'll take some Cliff Bars and carbs just in case, but I'm just going to see what happens. And I had the best recovery after this. I didn't swell up at all. My body felt good the whole time, and I think that my legs and my feet hurt and were sore for 2 days max. In fact, after I got back Wednesday night. Thursday I was sore, but by Friday I was fine. Friday afternoon I felt fine. I mean, I felt fine enough to do a pack walk that weekend. So, big difference on the food. I'm going to stick with that and see how it goes. But also because of that, I have been doing more of the carnivore eating again. That's not something that I have to talk about on this channel. If no one wants to hear about that, we don't even have to go there. I'm just throwing it out there because that was part of my experience on this solo hike, was realizing that I think all those carbs are not working for me. I think carbs are great for energy, but at the same time, there was a lot of swelling going on. So, but that's what I learned, and like I said, I really appreciate y'all following along on that journey. That was a good challenge for me to do, and I'm really, really happy that I did it. I am truly proud of myself for doing that. But you know what? Yeah, I don't think I want to go by myself again. I think I'd have to be pretty desperate and like really, really have the backpacking itch to want to go out there again and just be like, yep, I'm going alone. But that's everything. I just got done with the pack walk. I'm going to go take a shower. And yeah, I hope y'all are having a great day. I can't wait to be back out on the trail again. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.